Professor AlgeBro coming at you with more quadratic equations. This time, first, we're going to solve quadratic equations by completing the square, but I have to teach you how we complete the square. Well, it's simple. Let me talk to you about something called a perfect square trinomial. This is the way it shakes out, guys. Now, to complete the square, what we have to do, we have to get a perfect square trinomial where this is one factor. I'm going to show you. So what we do is we take half of 8, and that becomes 4. And that creates our factor. Now we have to square half of 8, so 4 squared is 16. So that's the first part. Now, here's the next part of it. What happens if we have an odd number? Now, take half of 5. We're not using decimals. We're going to use fractions. So 5 over 2. So this is x plus 5 over 2. We square it. 5 squared is 25. 2 squared is 4. That's how we complete the square. Okay? Now, like I said, these are easy ones because we're not talking about where there's numbers in front, but we'll get there. But that's normally algebra 2. So here's the first one we're going to do. Now, sometimes we have them where they don't work out properly. That's why we complete the square. So first things first, it's in what we call standard form. Well, the first thing we got to do is we got to move 6 by subtracting it from both sides. So that leaves us with this. Now, I do this to remind me I'm going to complete the square, okay? So take half of 8, so that's going to be x minus 4. That's on this side, and square it. So 4 squared is going to be 16. So 16 goes there, and then whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. So negative 6 plus 16 gives me 10. Now, buckle up, children. It's going to get bumpy now. So to get that gone, I have to take the square root of both sides. So when I take the square root of both sides, I get x minus 4. Now remember, you take an even root, you get positive and negative square root of 10. Now, square root of 10 doesn't have any factors in it, so we're good there. But now, to get x by itself, we have to add 4 to both sides. Okay, so we're going to add 4. So your answer is going to be x equals 4 plus or minus the square root of 10. Now, I know that's a lot to sink into, children, but I'm going to show you one last one to show you that you can complete the square and not be such a gnarly answer, okay? So here we go. Now, what I want you to do, I want you to pause and see if you can solve this, and we're going to come back, okay? Now, here we go. First thing I got to do, that's got to go to the other side. So I'm going to add 8, okay? Add 8. This gives me x squared minus 2x. Now, to complete the square, I'm going to have to add something. So here we go. Watch carefully. Take half of 2. So this is going to be x minus 1 on this side, and I square it. So 1 squared is 1. Whatever I do to one side, I do the other. What's 8 plus 1? It's 9. Now, since I squared both sides, I have to take the square root. Okay? So this becomes x minus 1, and this becomes positive and negative 3. Now, I have to add 1 to both sides. So x is going to be 1 plus, little finger manipulation here, 1 plus 3, and x equals 1 minus 3, which becomes, watch, 1 plus 3 is 4, 1 minus 3 is negative 2. As always, this is Professor AlgeBro. No matter where you go, math is there. Later, guys. AlgeBros, if you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Later.